the next two stars of the 20th century. Sonny and Cher, I Got You, Babe.
They say our love won't pay the rent, for it learned our money's all been spent.
A year after Sherilyn Sarkisian Lapierre met Salvador Bono, they became just plain Sonny and Cher. But the duo was anything but plain.
Babe, I got you, babe.
That was 1965. Their long hair and mod clothes were memorable, but success was fleeting.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sonny and Cher.
There were several lean career years between their #1 hit and their comeback with the Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour in 1971.
You were in such a hurry, you left a big mess in the dressing room. How is your mother?
Their on-camera marital bickering was good for laughs and good for the ratings. Their bobs put the show in the top 10.
Not funny. She's my wife, and look, I wish you'd put your things away when you're finished with them. Could you at least put things back when you're finished with them?
I wish I could.
I wish you could, too. You ought to try. You really ought to try.
I might. Hey, you want to take this back? I'm finished with it.
The show lasted until 1974, and so did the marriage.
Keep it up,
The next year, she came back with another television variety show. This time, she went solo. It was called, appropriately enough, Cher. It featured her music, her comedy, her body, her hair, and her famous Bob Mackie gowns. But there was no Sonny and no ratings.
Ladies and gentlemen, together again for the first time, Sonny and Cher.
So briefly, they tried it as divorced Sonny and Cher.
Well, I don't know if any of you heard about it, but see, Cher and I aren't married anymore.
Oh, you mean you haven't heard?
But off camera and on, it was still no go. So Cher turned to Las Vegas to the successful tune of $300,000 a week. It wasn't until 1981 that Cher fulfilled her teenage dream to become an actress with a part in the Broadway play and the film Come Back to the Five and Dime, Jimmy Dean, Jimmy Dean.
Mona, what? Are you just busting for that movie to come out? You are going to be up there on the movie screen with JC. I mean, on the movie screen.
Critics panned the show but loved Cher. The Jimmy Dean role led to an offer to play opposite Meryl Streep in the film Silkwood and to an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actress.
I'm sorry about yesterday.
But it was her starring role in the film Mask, a true story about the relationship between a mother and her disfigured son, this year, which brought her not only box office success, but finally acceptance as an actress.
I liked your poem, Rock. I just get scared for you, Mom. Oh, don't be. It's bad for you. I can handle it, Rock. Well, what if somebody deals you some bad stuff? Or what if you take too much of something? What are you, the director of the Inland Valley Chemical, what? Dependency Center. Yeah. No, I just get scared that something's going to happen to you, and I don't know. No, don't. You know, just lay off.
Off camera, Cher's life has not been as successful. After a less than amicable divorce from Sonny, there was a romance with record mogul David Geffen. Then came the on-again, off-again marriage to rock musician Greg Allman. The failure of that marriage was blamed on Allman's alleged drug use. The new man in her life is ABC television executive Josh Donnan. He's 29, she's 39. The most constant relationship in her life is with her two children. Her daughter Chastity was first introduced to the public on television. Today, Chastity is 16 and wants to be an actress. Cher's son by Greg Allman, Elijah Blue, is 10. They grew up in this Egyptian-style house in Los Angeles, which Cher designed. It looks like Tara on the Nile. Today, the house is on the market for $4.7 million.
I wanted the living room to be like stepping into some sort of a religious place that's very open and kind of clean. I thought the dining room should be kind of mysterious and so that you could look really fabulous in the nighttime.
Her bedroom is totally black and white.
Black to me is not dark and dank and terrible. Black to me is beautiful.
You're black and white. The black wig, the pale skin.
And also my personality is pretty black and white.
Is it really?
Yeah.
If you didn't know you when you saw you, what do you think you look like?
I think I look fabulous. It makes me laugh to see myself. I get a kick out of me. I even talk to myself sometimes saying, I can't believe your nerve, or I can't believe you pulled this one off. Right, I mean, I don't take myself as seriously as some people think.
You've said sometimes that Cher is an invention. Okay, what did you invent?
I invented someone who was funny and interesting and not the most beautiful person on the block, and yet still could convey that kind of feeling across, and someone who is open and not open, and I think that you can invent your life as you go along. I mean, you know, you're born with this huge piece of paper or canvas, and you can put anything on it you want to.
What was your childhood like? I read that things were so bad that you were, for a while, lived in a Catholic charity home.
Well, my mother had to work, and there was no place to put me, so she put me into this. I don't know exactly what it was. I don't know if it was a home or an orphanage or something like that. And it was rough, and I know my mother was working all night, like in an all-night diner. And kind of the hard part on me was that she had to put me from place to place while she was doing these jobs. And I think that that's a reason, too, why I have kind of a hard time staying with anything for too long a time.
Your mother was married 8 times.
Yes, 3 times to my father. And yet I never remember a man in the house.
That's crazy. I mean, what did she do? Did she get married for 2 minutes? They never came home?
She married my father. She left my father. She married a man named Chris Alcade. She left him. Then she married my sister's father. Now, by this time I was like 3 years old. And then I remember the other ones, but they just weren't there for very long. I have 2 memories of really fabulous fathers. My sister's father, who's dead, and my stepfather, who I have his name, Gilbert Lapierre. And,
but even they weren't around very long.
Not really, but I guess they were around at times when it really was important to me.